Dobry.
Alright, welcome to another Scdtv Division production, and today we're going to talk about Russian gear, but we're not going to talk about an AK, but about this little baby. VAL from LCT. Ta-da! Many of you guys know that, well, this is not the first VAL replica on the market. The first one was Russian-made NPO, maybe, which was expensive as hell. Without the gearbox, it cost around $1,000. Magazines were extremely expensive, but I heard they used the original shells.
Yeah.
But then again, so there was a big gap in the market for these, especially for all those Stalker fans, or simply Russian gear, those who were sick and tired of AKs and wanted something different. Of course, in the meantime, there were some custom-made replicas, like our friend's MGs. He made a couple of these. But then again, there was no factory-made ones. And LCT and a couple of other companies, well, they started thinking, well, there's a market for these ones. So they started, and we've got here LCT VAL, which is a pretty damn replica.
Just awesome. It's made of steel.
It's like a standard to LCT. Most of their AKs, I think every AK from LCT is steel. What else?
What else? It's made of steel. The furniture looks good. The color is a bit different, but that doesn't matter.
Of course, you will see everything in the detail in the close-up, so now we are just going to talk about it.
Yeah.
For us.
So the gearbox is a standard, not standard, but almost standard V3 model.
Yeah, it's a version 3 gearbox. So I think the only different thing is the motor socket.
Yeah, it's a
motor cage. Sorry, motor cage, which has the almost correct angle.
Yeah. So the grip looks fine. It looks like the original. Nothing wobbles. Yeah.
So simply, if you want to cut down a tree, you can just take your VAL and just sharpen the edge, and
you can play baseball with it.
Well, yeah.
Cricket.
But generally, this is a heavy piece of steel. Alright, well, I'd like to talk about the magazines. What is nice? The VAL magazine fit nicely into an M4 AK style single pouch. So here we've got a Stronghold pouch in green zone, and the magazine fits really nice. So if you have your AK magazines, pouches, or M4 even, you won't have any problems fitting this magazine into a regular pouch. What is good about the magazine? The price. They are really cheap. $6 or $9. Come on. Less than 10 for an LCT magazine, and it's not a high cap, so that's good. What else? Really nice polymer, really nice finish to the magazine. It looks almost like the original, except the color. The color is completely something different, right? The originals were black and purple,
something like that here.
Not brownish like these. The replica comes with a 6.02 inner barrel, so it's really nice, taking into consideration that it's a factory-made replica out of the box. So let's check how accurate it is.
Koniec. No, delikatnie.
Full auto. Here. Single. Here. Here because the target was moving. The target ship was moving. Generally, 20 meters, strong wind. Most of BBs here. Pretty nice. Okay, as you can see on the 40 meters, the results for the single fire were as follows. So we had one here, and here, here. So most of the BBs hit the human-sized target. Then on full auto, well, there was a short burst because we ran out of BBs. Again, we managed to hit a human-sized target on 40 meters with strong wind from right side. What does it mean? Well, it's skirmishable, right? So I think there is not a problem to hit a human-sized target on 45, maybe 50 meters, but then again you have to adjust your velocity and adjust the height, right? Whatever you do, and no problems hitting someone. Alright, you know what's this? This means we're going to take a look at this in action. So let's do some GoProing.
Daleko?
How did it shoot?
It shoots pretty good.
What battery did you use?
The battery was 7.4 LiPo.
And it's good.
Yeah.
Would you recommend 11.1?
No, it's a bit too high power for this replica, and when you shoot with a 11.1 you have a problem that most of the DPs don't feed.
If you use the auto,
yeah.
Right, no problems with the single auto fire, single fire. What else? The battery is stored here. You're going to see it in a moment, and there is not really a lot of free space. So
yeah.
Keep that in mind. If you have big bulky batteries, you can always change the wiring to the back, and you can store your battery in the pouch here. So if you want to keep your replica like this, the battery is here, but you can change it. Rear wiring, no problem. Okay. Well, it's a Russian thing, and I think almost every Russian real gun has a side mount, so this one is not an exception. And here we've got a Chinese clone of Russian-made PSO, and we would love to fit this here, but we can't, simply because of the build. Here is like a battery compartment.
Yeah, it's a battery case.
Simply, the receiver cover is in the way, so we can't use it. Sorry. So if you have this from your SVD, sorry, you can't. Yesterday, Adi tried to, with a success, mount a real steel
PGO from RPG-7.
The PGO from RPG-7, really nice, and I think it's one of the only or one of the best real steel mounts sights that work flawlessly with airsoft replicas.
Yeah.
And some of our friends tried to install real steel or better copies of PSOs, Cobras, all those fancy Russian sights, red dot sights, scopes, whatever. But initially they failed. Why?
There's a difference in the
angle.
In the angle of this mount.
So somebody at LCT didn't do their homework very well, and the angle here in the sound mount is wrong. So all those guys had to file the side mount to fit their sights. So bear in mind, out of the box, no sights except the real steel PGO fit, at least in our case and our friends.
It needs some love, and that's all.
Like a really good woman. Give some love and she'll show you some love. Alright, let's sum up our short adventure with VAL from LCT. So let's start with the advantages. The first one is
it's made of steel.
It's pure steel, really heavy, really nice touch. So wonderful here. So excellent job as usual from LCT. Next one is
it's cheaper than NPO.
So, like, you can buy 3 or 4 of these or 1 NPO, and which is good. I read somewhere that magazines from NPO fit here.
Yeah.
Right. We don't have any NPO, so we can't say it's true. But we heard that they fit. So let's find out. Next one.
It has proper sights. NPO has different from the AK. It's a proper one for the VAL.
Good one. Next one.
It's
the length.
It's almost identical. Almost.
Oh, well, yeah. It's really difficult to keep the measurements of the original with an airsoft replica, right? So it's almost impossible. And
gearbox.
The gearbox, version 3 gearbox. So something wonderful. 99.9% parts are standard. Version 3. Here. The only thing, at least from the instruction manual, is that the motor cage and some screws are
in a different angle.
Yeah, because of the different angle. So they are only through this gearbox. But the rest, the same thing. Next one,
Cheap and really good magazines.
$6-9. I don't remember, but less than 10.
The stock is a proper way mounted. It's
and it folds to a proper way, so it's to the left side, not to the right, like in the Chinese clone of this one. And
that's maybe all.
And now the disadvantages, because, well, as we mentioned before, this is not the perfect replica, because, well, if you find a perfect replica, come on, I'd like to see it, right? Because I think I will going to find some flaws here and there. So the first one is as we mentioned before, the side mount. It's not perfect, it needs some love, needs some work with filing, because most of the sides do not fit. Next one, the problem with the fire selector, which is in a proper way here, like the original, but we find it sometimes difficult to change auto to single. When I think I've got single fire, I set auto. It shoots auto, so I don't know why. So it's not perfect here. And on the silencer we've got a serial number which is 084, and I think all of the guys have 84.
Yeah, it's the same in everyone.
Yes, and there are no markings.
No,
not even LCTs.
No,
it's just it's naked. Hop-up unit is here, and it's a real bitch.
Yeah, it's hard to use,
to manipulate it, right? First thing, the bolt here doesn't come till the end here, right? So we've got very limited space, and unless you've got little fingers, you won't have any problems. But with fingers like mine or Adi's or everyone around here, we need to do two things. Either we take a screwdriver or a small stick, a knife, fork, and try to manipulate, or simply we have to take the receiver cover. The cables, well, you saw that. The cables run here, and sometimes if you don't pay attention while unscrewing the silencer, you might tear them, right?
Or cut them in half.
Cut them in half. So either you move the wiring to the rear and you've got battery here, or simply try to remember that you might do something bad to your wires, right? The battery, you are limited to this space, so not much. Right, so if you have a really extreme skirmish, you need to have 2 or 3 batteries. If you are a trigger-happy moron. Okay, so the most important question: to buy it or not to buy it? And again, if you've got tons and tons of dollars, okay, go buy yourself an IPO, which could be perfect. I don't know. We didn't have it. Probably we won't have it. But if you played with LCTs, you know what the company stands for, right? And now, on the market, this is the only VAL replica. King Arms is working on one, and I think it's going to be out soon this year. But if you prefer this one, so you don't like the wooden stuff, this is a really good choice. The magazines are awfully cheap, so if you break one, lose one, come on, you can buy 2 extra. Internals are from LCT, so probably some really nice internals. And again, version 3 gearbox, so upgradable. Come on, if you want 500 FPS or more, version 3, you can do that. The inner barrel 602 out of the box, quite nice. And again, this one costs less than $400.
Yeah.
So I think that it's a bargain, right? Okay, you can buy a cheap Chinese copy, but those of you who had them, they know that it's not worth the money. So thanks for watching, and thanks for LCT for sending this awesome gun. Alright. Do widzenia.
Do widzenia.